Hi and welcome to Bucharest-Nord. Today we're taking Romanian Railways train 1691 all the way to Timisoara. A scenic winter journey across Romania. Sounds nice, right? Well, not so fast. Delays, freezing temperatures and a train that, let's just say, has seen better days. Was it worth it? Let's find out. Come along! Bucharest-Nord, the beating heart of Romanian rail travel, and today a snowy one at that. Opened in 1872, this station has seen it all: wars, royal trains, modernization attempts, and of course the occasional delay. Only occasional. But today, let's see how it holds up. Step inside and you'll find yourself in a mix of history and, well, let's call it practical charm. Bucharest-Nord's interior isn't exactly a grandiose European terminal, but it gets the job done. This place handles over 200 trains a day, so despite the old-school vibes, it's still Romania's busiest station. It's also well connected. Metro lines 1 and 4 stop here, along with several bus and tram routes, making it a key transport hub. Now here's a little throwback. A railway poster from 2021, which somehow is still here. Did someone forget to take it down, or did they just think it was cute and decided to let it be? Either way, it's a little time capsule. If you need a place to sit, there's the waiting room. Not exactly luxury, but at least is warmer than outside. And over here, the ticket office, always a classic sight in a big station, though these days many people, like myself, just book online. If you need a snack before your train, you're also covered. From fast food to traditional Romanian pastries, there's plenty of choice. Now, who needs a table when nature provides? Nothing like a fresh snack enjoyed on a fine table de neige with a view of the tracks. Oh, and if you need proper supplies for a long journey, there's even a Carrefour inside the station. Trains running late? No worries, you can do your grocery shopping while you wait. And for our trip today, it's an imperative. There isn't a bar or restaurant available on this over 11 hours journey. And of course the classic train station scene. Everyone staring at the departure boards, hoping for a miracle, or at least to learn their train's platform. And there it is, my train is announced. Time to join the crowd heading towards the platform. It's always fascinating to see the mix of passengers, commuters, students, families and travelers like me, all bound for different destinations, but sharing the same train for now. Let's go find our ride. Well, at least I found the track. Now we just need a train, which is still missing. About 30 minutes after scheduled departure time. It is what it is. With no train in sight, there's only one thing to do. Walk up and down the platform like everyone else, hoping that movement somehow speeds up time. And finally, over 30 minutes late, here it comes. 6 cars, built between the early 1960s and mid-1980s, originally from Deutsche Bahn and purchased by CFR in the mid-2000s. These cars were built for long-distance comfort back in Germany before making their way to Romania. But let's just say, they haven't exactly been pampered since, as we'll see in a moment. Given how late we are, it's best to board at once. No time to waste if we're hoping for a quick departure. Let's get inside. Stepping inside my car, a UIC Type X, one thing is immediately apparent. Despite the delay, the cars weren't preheated. So, it's just as cold inside as outside, if not colder. Well, this is going to be an interesting ride. My reservation is for a seat in a 5-seat compartment, but with plenty of empty seats around, I decide to relocate somewhere a bit more comfortable. More on my seat later. For now we have our departure with a healthy 35-minute delay. Now with 57 more stops ahead, okay, not that many but still, let's see how this journey unfolds. Hopefully the delay doesn't get any worse. Fingers crossed. And as usual upon departure, today's trip map. Already out of Bucharest, let me walk a little and show you the other accommodations on board. Up front we have a CFR Class 410 locomotive, part of a huge family of Romanian electric locomotives. A total of 1076 units were built between 1965 and 1991. First by Asia in Sweden, which made the first 10, and then by Electroputere in Craiova under an Asia license. These locomotives come in different variants. The original Class 400 was designed for heavy freight and passenger trains with a top speed of 120 km per hour, while the Class 410, like ours today, was meant for fast passenger services and can reach 160 km per hour. A true workhorse on the CFR network. Now, while moving along the second class, let's talk about eating. Because, as we've noticed, it's definitely a topic today. These cars use axle-driven alternators to generate electricity for heating and lighting while moving. They also charge onboard batteries, which keeps things running when the train stops. But batteries alone aren't enough for preheating. That's where the 1500-volt external power supply comes in. In theory, when a train is parked at a station or depot for long periods, it should be connected to an external power source to warm it before departure. In theory, which is standard practice in many countries. But as we've seen, that didn't happen here, so we started this trip with a nice box on wheels. And with all this we arrive at my first class car, which is strangely similar to the second class cars we just saw. Only the colors seem to differ. Let me give you a quick seat tour. It's a basic seat, not the most comfortable out there. It doesn't recline or anything of the sort. There's a small table, a coat hook, the seat itself in dire need of a cleaning, and the scenery. Some seats have 220-volt power sockets, and then there's this mysterious switch, which only much later in the trip we'll find out its use. Garbage bins are in the corridor. Here's our first stop, Videle, 51 kilometers or 1 hour into the trip, where we arrive with a delay of 34 minutes. A small town of around 10,000 people, but more importantly, a key railway junction. From here a line branches off towards Bulgaria, while we stay on the main route west toward Timisoara. It's a brief stop, just enough time for a few passengers to step off into the snow. And we're off again. Since we're rolling through this snowy landscape, this is a good opportunity to talk about how winter affects railway operations. Snow and ice can cause all sorts of problems. Frozen switches, blocked signals, traction and braking problems with loss of adhesion and longer acceleration and braking distances, and even doors or couplers refusing to budge. Now, Romanian railways, like most other railway administrations where harsh winters are common, do take winter into account when planning schedules. Trains get a bit of extra padding to compensate for delays caused by freezing conditions, like my train today. In theory, this helps keep things on track. In practice, well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now we're still running late, although 1 minute less than we departed Bucharest. But hey, at least the train is finally warm. After some slow running, we come to a stop, seemingly in the middle of nowhere. And here comes another ÖBB freight train. Given how many of these we've seen so far, it's safe to say that ÖBB has a pretty healthy freight operation in Romania. After a few more scheduled and unscheduled stops, we pass Craiova's depot and workshops, signaling that we're about to arrive in the city, the major one on this journey. We're now over 200 kilometers from Bucharest, 4 hours and 30 minutes into the trip, and running 57 minutes late. But let's talk about Craiova itself. This is the largest city in southwestern Romania with around 250,000 inhabitants, and it's a major industrial and university center. Historically, it was an important economic hub even back in medieval times, serving as the residence of Wallachian rulers. This is where the Ford factory is located, producing cars for export all over Europe. Naturally, as an important city, Craiova has a railway station to match. Opened in 1875, it has long been a key hub in southwestern Romania. This is where lines branch off toward Pitești and Calafat, the latter leading to Bulgaria via the New Europe Bridge. The station itself is quite large, charming even, though like much of Romania's rail infrastructure, it could use some updates. Still, it remains one of the country's busiest regional railway hubs, seeing a mix of long-distance trains like ours and local services connecting smaller towns in the region. After Balota, 304 kilometers into the trip, we begin one of the steepest railway descents still in use in Europe. From here to Drobeta, Turnu, Severin, over just 14 kilometers, the track plunges down the southern Carpathians with a maximum Rulling Gradient of 30.15 per thousand. That means, for every kilometer forward, the train drops over 30 meters in elevation. To make this descent manageable, the railway winds its way down the mountains with a series of tight curves, which you can see clearly on the map. These curves aren't just for fun. They increase the total track length, which helps reduce the already extreme gradient. Even with this, the maximum speed here is just 30 km per hour. Now, to put things into perspective, modern EU railway design standards, the technical specifications of interoperability, limit gradients on mixed-use lines, those handling both passenger and freight trains, to just 12.5 per thousand. That's less than half of what we're tackling here. But why do railways need such gentle slopes compared to roads? Well, it's all about friction, or in the case of steel wheels on steel rails, the lack of it. While cars and trucks have rubber tires gripping asphalt, trains rely on the tiny contact patch between metal wheels and rails. That's great for efficiency on flat terrain, but a nightmare for steep climbs and descents. On a gradient like this, heavy freight trains would struggle to climb without extra locomotives, and descending too fast? Well, that's why the speed limit is so low, and train brakes are a serious business. So, as we carefully wind our way down the mountains, just imagine the skill and engineering that went into making this stretch of railway work. It's not just about laying tracks, it's about conquering geography. After that steep and winding descent, we finally reached the Danube Valley and the station of Drobeta Turnu Severin. That's 323 kilometers and a little over 7 hours into the trip, with a delay that has now improved slightly to 45 minutes. Not terrible, but not great either. It's a brief 1-minute stop, and off we go again. But now comes a stretch I was really looking forward to along the Danube with some spectacular scenery. Except, well, thanks to our delay, I was hoping to show you this in full daylight, but instead we get more of a sunset vibe. Still beautiful, just a little moodier than planned. And over there on the other bank of the river, that's Serbia. The Danube serves as the natural border between the two countries in this area. So, not only are we crossing a stunning landscape, but we're also skimming right along the edge of another country. Pretty cool, right? The train is much emptier now, and hey, remember that mysterious switch from earlier in the video? Well, I finally cracked the case. It controls this minuscule light right here. Yep, that's it. A true game changer. Now, what I can't figure out is why anyone would need a light this tiny. Mood lightning for ants? A reading lamp for someone who only reads one word at a time? If you have any theories, drop them in the comments. After completing the last leg of our trip, we're finally pulling into Timisoara with a 37-minute delay, wrapping up this not-so-smooth journey. So what's the verdict? Well, let's just say this wasn't exactly a 5-star experience. The train itself isn't the most comfortable, the delays didn't help, and the lack of a cafeteria on an 11-hour train? That's just a bad idea. But hey, at least it got me to my destination, eventually. And with that, it's time to end this video. If you enjoyed the ride, well, more than I did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more train videos, always with a mix of history and technology. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next week.